everyone, welcome back. It's me, Miss Wada. I wanted to ask you a question today. Have you ever felt worried? Maybe some of you are asking, what does it mean to be worried? Does anyone know? Worrying is when you're thinking about problems or things that could go wrong. Being worried is basically being scared about things that you're unsure of or things that you can't control. Everyone worries sometimes, even grown-ups. Your moms, dads, and teachers all feel worried sometimes. It's okay to feel worried, but it is important to talk about your feelings. Sometimes just talking about your feelings can help you feel a lot better. Now let's read one of my favorite books, Wemberly Worried by Kevin Henkes. Wemberly Worried. This is our title page. Wemberly worried about everything. Big things. If you look here, she's shining a flashlight in her parents' faces in the middle of the night, saying, I wanted to make sure you were still here. Little things, like spilling her juice, and things in between. Mama, what if I shrink? Wemberly worried in the morning, she worried at night, and she worried throughout the day. You worry too much, said her mother. When you worry, I worry, said her father. Worry, 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 said her grandmother. Too much worry. And if you look at her grandma's shirt, it says, go with the flow. In my class, we talk a lot about going with the flow. That means when you're okay with things changing or being different. Sometimes we have to go with the flow when something's different, and that's okay. We don't need to get upset or worried or angry when our schedule changes. We just go with the flow. At home, Wemberly worried about the tree in the front yard. What if it falls on our house? And she worried about the crack in the living room wall. What if it gets bigger and something comes out of it? And the noise the radiators made. What if there's a snake inside? At the playground, Wemberly worried about the chains on the swings and the bolts on the slide and the bars on the jungle gym. Too rusty, too loose, too high. And always she worried about her doll, Petal. Shouldn't Petal have a car seat too? Petal's lost forever. I found her, sweetie. I'll wait for you, Petal. So here, Petal's getting cleaned inside the washing machine. But instead of playing or doing something else, Wemberly's just sitting here worrying about Petal. Don't worry, said her mother. Don't worry, said her father. But Wemberly worried. She worried and worried and worried. When Wemberly was especially worried, she rubbed Petal's ears. Wemberly worried that if she didn't stop worrying, Petal would have no ears left at all. So now she's not just worrying, but she's worrying about how much she's worrying. I don't think that's going to help her feel less worried. Let's see. On her birthday, Wemberly worried that no one would come to her party. But look how many of her friends came. See, said her mother, there was nothing to worry about. But then Wemberly worried that there wouldn't be enough cake. So see, first she was worried that no one would come, and then when everyone came, instead of feeling happy and not worried anymore, now she found something new to worry about. Now she's worried that all of her friends won't have enough cake to eat. Poor Wemberly. On Halloween, Wemberly worried that there would be too many butterflies in the neighborhood parade. See, said her father, there was nothing to worry about. Look, there's no other butterflies. But then Wemberly worried because she was the only one. So again, just like with her birthday party, where she was worried about something, and then that didn't come true, now she found something new to worry about. Same thing happened here. First, she was worried that there was going to be everyone dressed up like a butterfly. But then when her dad told her not to worry because she's the only butterfly, now she's getting all stressed out and worried that she's the only one. So it seems like no matter what, Wemberly can't just relax and feel happy. She's always finding something to be worried about. You worry too much, said her mother. When you worry, I worry, said her father. Worry, 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 said her grandmother. Too much worry. So over here, if you see her grandma, she's using her cane to point to this sign, and it says, "Take it as it comes." So that's a really good thing to think about. If you look, there's a sun, and there's a rain cloud, and there's some flowers. So a lot of times when we see a sun, we think about feeling happy, and when we see rain clouds, we think about being sad. So, yesterday it was raining, and some of us were sad we couldn't go outside. But you know what? Rain is actually really important. See these flowers here? Flowers can only grow if it rains. So, sometimes we feel sad about things, but you know what? Everything can actually help us to grow. So that's really important what her grandma's trying to tell her. Soon, Wemberly had a new worry, school. Wemberly worried about the start of school more than anything she had ever worried about before. Her dad said, "I love school." But if you look at her face, she looks very worried. By the time the first day arrived, Wemberly had a long list of worries. What if no one else has spots? What if no one else wears stripes? What if no one else brings a doll? What if the teacher is mean? What if the room smells bad? What if they make fun of my name? What if I can't find the bathroom? What if I hate the snack? What if I have to cry? So if you take a minute to look at this page, you can see there's a lot of question marks to show that she's having all these questions going through her head. And if you look, the author started out small, and then each question is getting a little bit bigger to show that she's getting more and more worried. Oh man, she's feeling very worried now. "Don't worry," said her mother. "Don't worry," said her father. But Wemberly worried. She worried and worried and worried. Look at her face. She worried all the way there. So again, it looks like they made the words really big to show that she's really, really worried. Over here, you could see Grandma's wearing some roller skates, even though she has a cane, and she's saying, "Have fun." If you look, Grandma's smiling. She doesn't look worried. But then if you look over here at Wemberly and her parents, if you look at their eyebrows, you can tell that they're feeling very worried or nervous. While Wemberly's parents talked to the teacher, Mrs. Peachum, Wemberly looked around the room. Then Mrs. Peachum said, "Wemberly, there's someone I think you should meet." Her name was Jewel. She was standing by herself. She was wearing stripes, and she was holding a doll. Does Jewel remind you of anybody else? At first, Wemberly and Jewel just peeked at each other. That means they just looked at each other really quickly. "This is Petal," said Wemberly. "This is Niblet," said Jewel. Petal waved. Niblet waved back. "Hi," said Petal. "Hi," said Niblet. "I rub her ears," said Wemberly. "I rub her nose," said Jewel. So look, now Wemberly found someone to talk to about her feelings. Throughout the morning, Wemberly and Jewel sat side by side and played together whenever they could. Petal and Niblet sat side by side too. Wemberly worried, but no more than usual, and sometimes even less. Before Wemberly knew it, it was time to go home. "Come back tomorrow," called Mrs. Peachum as the students walked out the door. Wemberly turned and smiled and waved. "I will," she said. "Don't worry." So if you look over here at Wemberly now, she's got a big smile on her face. She's waving, and her posture, her body, she looks like she's standing up straight and tall. She looks like she's feeling a lot better than she did before. And if you look over here, you can see she's smiling too. So I just wanted to show you that in the beginning of the book, Wemberly always looked very worried. But then here, when she started talking to Jewel, she starts to smile. So now she has a friend that she can play with and talk to. So she's not thinking about all these things that might happen that she was worried about before. Now she's just focusing on playing with their blocks or going down the slide or playing instruments. She's just having fun. She doesn't have time to feel worried anymore. The end. And if you look here, it looks like Wemberly and her parents and Petal, they're all dancing and smiling. Looks like they're happy. Maybe they're celebrating that Wemberly's feeling a lot better. I hope you enjoyed this book. Remember, don't be afraid to talk to someone if you're feeling worried. Stay tuned for my next video where I will teach you strategies of things that you can do to calm down when you're feeling worried. Hope to see you soon. Bye now.